Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anastasia here with this week's Teen Mom Recap. So this episode starts with MTV's usual favorite drone shots of the cities that the girls live in, and I noticed those little cartoony things they have on the side. They have like these little textbooks there. I'm not sure what they're referring to here, because we all know that these bitches don't go to school. Taylor and Macy, meaning really just Taylor, have decided not to get the vasectomy. Bentley's grades have been slipping, and Macy asks if he would be willing to talk to a counselor or a therapist about it. Well, I like her attitude a lot better than Gary's, with his fear of therapy and his thinking that it creates crazies rather than helping prevent them. Brandon and Teresa are coming to visit Kate and Tyler in Michigan. Kate and Tyler live about 2 hours away from Detroit, but for some reason Brandon and Teresa want to stay in Detroit 2 hours away from them. It's a sad day when the adoptive parents of your child are so wary of you that they'd rather stay in Detroit than be near you. The visit is tomorrow, and of course trusty old Dawn, the adoption counselor, is going to be there, and is hanging around now for some reason. She talks about how hard these visits are to plan. Tyler responds that he doesn't care if they meet up in a ditch so long as they just get to talk to each other and see her. Ironically, that's probably where they'll end up if they stay in Detroit for too long. Mackenzie meets up to talk with her mom. She doesn't have good news. Basically, the cancer has spread to almost all parts of her body. The doctor told her that surviving 6 months would be optimistic. She says the hardest part is knowing that her grandkids won't remember her, especially Mackenzie's oldest, who she helped raise when Mackenzie was still a teen. Mackenzie's kids are aware that she is sick, but they don't really know the severity of it, so Mackenzie plans to talk to them about it. Amber gets back from her therapy session. I noticed on the psychiatrist's building, he's actually a child and adolescent psychologist, which at first I thought was weird for a 29-year-old woman to be going to, but let's just say that mentally, it makes sense. Amber complains to Andrew about how intense the session was, and what they talked about there. Andrew's like, yeah, there's mornings where you'll get upset with me for no reason. Just mornings, Andrew? You sure? Not evenings, afternoons, nights? Oh yeah, she's probably asleep the rest of the day. Cheyenne wants to teach Ryder to give back to the community and donate food and toys to the homeless, despite the fact that Ryder's 2 and probably isn't going to know what the hell is going on as usual. She wants to invite Taylor too. When she brings it up to Taylor, Taylor talks about how she used to fast and then feed the homeless at church. Nowadays, she mostly spits on bitches, but hey, back in the day, she did some good deeds. Later, Cheyenne's mom wants Taylor canceled. She found out about Taylor's racist tweets from like 2011 and says Cheyenne can't ignore what's been said. Even though Cheyenne's mom is blatantly ignoring the racist tweets that Cheyenne said about the same time, about kicking white kids and hating white people. Day 1 of the Great Carlys Visit goes well, although they don't film it. They all go to the park with their families and Dawn. Caitlin got emotional because she noticed Carly having the same mannerisms as Nova and how much they liked seeing each other. They're meeting up again tomorrow, but Kate needs to finish some scrapbook present for Carly before they go. She then says that birth parents are the strongest people in the world. They're also apparently the biggest procrastinators in the world because they had like 4 years since the last visit to do the scrapbook and they still haven't finished it. Mackenzie is struggling with the fact that she can't run to her mom with her problems like she used to. In the past, she had a lot of hope and didn't let herself think that she might lose her mom soon, but now she has to face the reality that she might. Josh sort of kind of apologizes for ignoring Mackenzie when she comes to him with her problems, but he also says that it was because she came to him with such stupid non-issues that he ignored it, so it was kind of a double-edged sword. Ryan announces that him and Mackenzie got Jagger his shots. Oh, and by the way, Mackenzie's pregnant. Again. Woo! Jenna's like, oh, yeah, that's great. I thought you guys were waiting. Mackenzie's like, yeah, I thought so too, but I was already pregnant, so oh well. She's 3 months along and probably having a girl. Cheyenne FaceTimes Matt and brings up Taylor's tweets again, while making absolutely no mention of her own tweets because she's a giant hypocrite. It's the last day of Carlys Visit, and Kate still has not left the house to go to the visit because she's still working on the scrapbook. Dawn calls and pretty much heavily implies that Caitlin and Tyler are late and should probably show up soon and give her the stupid scrapbook later so they don't miss out on time with her. But Kate insists that she's going to finish the scrapbook now. Tyler seems frustrated. He's yelling, do we finish anything on time? Do we do what we say we're gonna do? No, no, no. Yeah, like those promises you made to go to college and get a real job. At least there's a little self-awareness there. Dawn asks if they'll at least be there by noon. Again, by the tone of her voice, you can tell they're already late by the time she made this phone call. And Kate's like, yeah, we'll make it. Well, the clock reads 12:30 and Kate is still cutting pieces of construction paper into flowers and glue gunning it next to pictures of Tyler. And they still have to drive there. Just wow, like the lack of respect for their time is just so careless and stupid. 4 years they had to make this scrapbook. And they don't even do it like the day before, like a high school student trying to finish their PowerPoint project, but the morning of. In fact, during the time of, when they're already supposed to be there. You missed your class, 25% off your grade. I usually give Kate and Tyler the benefit of the doubt, but this was just so disrespectful and stupid. You barely ever get to see Carly, and you just throw away hours of the visit for a scrapbook that you could easily mail to her later, or even better, have worked on forever ago in the 4 years you had to do this. It sort of makes you wonder how much they really care. Cheyenne and Co. bring stuff to the shelter and tries to diffuse tension with Taylor. She says she's gonna bring up the elephant in the room and brings up the stupid tweets from Taylor. And Taylor just says she was young and dumb and just trying to be funny, not trying to be negative, and she's so much more worldly now. And Cheyenne accepts that. But I think the real elephant in the room here is that Cheyenne had racist tweets too that were arguably even worse, and no one talks about it or brings it up whatsoever. I guess it doesn't count because it was towards white people, which is kind of BS, but whatever, I guess. Macy is relieved that Bentley agreed to go to the therapist and that he's willing to open up since he's usually so shy. She wonders about family therapy and her friend suggests maybe Bentley go with Ryan. But the restraining order would make that difficult, and neither her nor Taylor are willing to drop the restraining order because it's probably the only consequence for anything that Ryan has ever suffered in his life. Mackenzie McKee sits her kids down to tell them about their grandma dying of cancer. On camera. Yeah, it's actually super sad to watch. Her oldest son asks if the grandma can be fixed, and Mackenzie says she's going to Jesus soon and will probably go to sleep and just never wake up. Josh is actually surprisingly supportive and even hugs Gannon and comforts him. Kate and Tyler get back from the visit. She hopes that the scrapbook really showed Carly how much they love her, more than showing up an hour late, I guess. They went to the zoo and everyone had a great time. Teresa even allowed Carly to FaceTime Nova in the future. And as they drive away, they see Brandon comforting a crying Carly, who hopefully isn't crying tears of joy so glad that the visit is over. And they start crying too because they want to be the ones to comfort her. And for the grand finale of the season, we get to hear the somewhat anticlimactic 911 call where Andrew reported Amber for trying to hack him up with a machete while he held their son. They even show Amber's lovely booking photo. But you've probably already heard that story. They really only dedicate like 10 seconds to it. Gary and Christina also talk a little bit about it. Gary emphasizes that Leah was with a friend during this and wasn't around for that. He also wants this to actually have repercussions for Amber because it affects everyone around her when she does stuff like this, and he suffered abuse from her too. Leah has even been asking if she would see James if Amber went to prison. Guess even she lost hope on Amber at this point. And that's all for this season finale of Team Emoji. That was apparently the last episode. The reunions are coming up, and I will most likely cover them, but I will not cover the Unseen Moments episodes because those are boring. So, what do you think Amber is going to use as an excuse for her actions, because they showed her talking in the reunion? Did you like Mackenzie's very short addition to this series? Why didn't Cheyenne bring up her own tweets? Was Caitlin wrong to be late to her visit to finish the stupid scrapbook? Make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for Team Mom Recaps every week.